What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Season 21, Episode 3 of Hitting the Field. Today we have a stacked show for you today as we recap Game 1 of the WNBA Playoffs, Round 1 that kicked off yesterday. And then we recap the biggest boxing fight of the year, Canelo VS Crawford. And then we do some NFL stock up, stock down after 2 weeks. And the Dolphins lost again. So here is what Mike McDaniel had to say after the game.
To win games, you have to win the game, not lose the game, honestly. And that is how you lose the game. You're moving the ball down the field. You're 1st and 10, and then you find yourself at 2nd and 20.
I don't even know what to say about that. I don't even know what to say about that. That was atrocious. But let's just roll the intro and then we'll get into the show.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back, okay? Always locked in, now I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.
And we are back. Joining me is HTF regular Ty Patton. How are you doing today?
I'm always happy to talk WNBA, Nick Cohen. I love women's basketball. And also, Bucks play football tonight, okay? Good
Shout out. It will be a good game, but we don't even talk about that now. And then joining me to my right is making her on-air debut at Hitting the Field, Jasmine Goldie. How are you doing, Jasmine?
I'm doing good.
Good, absolutely. So we are here to recap the WNBA. If you didn't know, Game 1 of Round 1 of the playoffs kicked off yesterday, and there was some great games.
Yeah, it was fun to watch.
We're just going to jump right into it with the Golden State Valkyries losing to the Minnesota Lynx. This was a great game, and the Golden State Valkyries, they're a new franchise, and they made it to the playoffs. So, Jasmine, tell me about this game.
Yeah, so the Lynx won last night, obviously, 101-72. The Valkyries started off strong, but they lost momentum kind of towards the second half. Nafisha Collier, who plays for the Lynx, had a great game. 20-point game, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. The Minnesota Lynx are just a championship team, in my opinion. And Coach Cheryl Reeve, that's her 50th career playoff win for the Lynx. So, I mean, the Valkyries played great as well. It's cool to see a team in their inaugural season, doing really well and making it to the playoffs. But
completely agree. Ty, any thoughts on this game?
I wouldn't say so. I am on the absolute train that this is going to be another year of either the Aces, or the Liberty winning the whole thing, which is why I'm very excited. Hey, they won the past 3 years.
So not the Lynx.
I mean, the Lynx are a good basketball team. Like, I'm not going to say they're not a good basketball team, but at the same point,
according to Jasmine, they're a championship.
According to them, they're a championship
4
team.
titles.
But according to history, okay. Let's take a history lesson.
Let's do it.
We've had 3 consecutive, years of either the Liberty or the Aces winning the chip, with both of them making it in 2023. Okay. It's tried and true. Liberty Aces, one of these 2 teams is winning. Okay, it's gonna happen.
So you're saying Golden State didn't stand a chance heading into this?
I'm saying they don't stand a chance whatsoever. Minnesota Lynx, okay, has a shot. I don't think it's a very good one.
Okay, sure. Do we think Golden State heading into year 2 next year? Assuming the season, the playoffs, it just started. Yeah. It's only been 1 game, but if we think the Lynx are going to win this series, do we think Golden State stands a better chance next year? Now they'll learn from what they have faced in the playoffs thus far.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, their coach is set to win Coach of the Year this year. I think having leadership on your team is super important. And they have a lot of great players who are developing. So I wouldn't count them out just yet. I mean, I don't see it happening for them this year, but keep your eye on the Valkyries next season for
Absolutely.
sure.
And so we're going to move on. I know you're from Atlanta,
I
right?
am from Atlanta.
So we're going to talk about the Dream beating the Fever. The Fever, if you didn't know, without Caitlin Clark. How did this game go?
Yeah, well, it's not just Caitlin they're missing.
Of course.
They have 6 players who are out for the season, which obviously hurts them a lot.
Yeah.
I will say Aaliyah Boston had a great game, 12 rebounds. That was the most across any of the playoff games played last night. 5 assists, but she has a great on-court dynamic with Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
So obviously with Caitlin being out, that is something that they lose as a team. The Dream, though, both Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray, both great games, 20 points each, 6 assists, and Ryan Howard 4 3-pointers last night.
That's very impressive. Ty, any thoughts on this game?
Nope.
Okay.
I know what I stand for in this
so-
WNBA playoff
Okay.
season.
Well, then we might as well just move on to the next one because I think you will have something to say.
I do have
The
something to
Liberty defeated the Phoenix Mercury 76-69.
Absolutely.
Talk about this one.
Okay, this was a massive game for New York Liberty fans. Okay, it's going to happen again. All right, this team is going to the championship again. Okay, the team is stacked as it has always been. Okay, Brianna Stewart, fantastic game, 18.6 rebounds. Jonquel Jones, fantastic game, 7 points, 12 rebounds, most on the team. Okay, Natasha Cloud, 23 points, 6 rebounds, and Sabrina Ionescu, 16 points and 6 rebounds. Okay, it's not a big 3 on the Liberty, okay? It's a big 4.
Okay.
Some might even say fantastic 4, okay? Say that again?
You could say that
I'm going to
again.
say it again. The Fantastic 4 on the New York Liberty. Okay, this team gets me fired up.
I can
Okay,
tell.
they get me ready to watch championship women's basketball. Okay,
true.
They go almost every single year. Okay, and I think they have a great chance of winning it this year.
I love it.
Okay, every single player makes the other one better. Okay?
Granted, this game did go into overtime.
It did go into overtime.
That was
Which
super
is fine.
exciting.
Phoenix
the
has a
Liberty
good
outscored
basketball
the
team.
Liberty shut down the Mercury in overtime,
did.
11-4. Shout out Andrew Montana. I know you're a big Sabrina fan. As you know, who really isn't? To be
Who's
fair,
not a Sabrina fan?
Right. Exactly. Any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, it was fun to watch. I loved watching the Liberty play last season. They're definitely also a championship team, but I don't know. I have a feeling about the Lynx, so.
We might have to revisit this in a week or two.
We might have to
or
revisit it.
even longer.
Yeah.
We'll see who's right. We are going to move on to our final game that happened yesterday. Another team, Ty said he thinks is going to be going back to the championship.
Again and again
The
and again.
Aces, oh my goodness, they absolutely crushed the Storm, 102-77, scoring the most points out of the opening games. Go ahead and talk about this game. Asia Wilson with another fantastic game, as she always does.
As she always does. And you know what? I hearken an Asia Wilson to a Baker Mayfield, okay?
Oh,
a
yeah.
stud on the respective fielder court, okay? Someone that can really drive home an offense, okay? Center everybody around her specifically. Asia Wilson, 29 points, 8 rebounds. Coming right off the heels of that, though, Jackie Young and Jewel Lloyd completing the big 3. Not so much Fantastic 4, but respectively 18 points and 5 rebounds for Young, 14 points, 3 rebounds for Lloyd. Okay, good team. This team is always good. I think every single year this team's good. And the problem is they get better every year.
Yeah.
That's the issue. I don't know how they do it. Okay, there's some black magic Kansas City Chiefs, activity going on here.
Something
but
like that.
They're great at all times. Okay, they never get worse. But credit where credit's due on the Seattle side of things. Okay, Dominique Malonga, I really hope I pronounced that correctly. I think I did. Had a double-double in Vegas. Couldn't get it done. Game 2 heads into Seattle, okay, with Storm on the ropes.
Yeah.
All right, facing elimination?
Maybe.
I think so.
Possible.
I think probably, okay? Let's look at a good Aces team. Okay, let's look at a team that's probably going to win the championship again.
They
okay?
shut down Skylar Diggins as well. Only
They're
12
good.
points.
The Aces are a good basketball team.
Any final thoughts on this game from you, Jasmine?
Not really. I mean,
Okay.
the Aces have always been good. Asia, you can always count.
So you think it's going to be the Aces and the Lynx?
I think it's either Aces and Lynx or Liberty and Lynx.
Okay. I think that's a collective agreement. But again, as I mentioned, we'll just have to revisit this
Yeah,
in
we're
a
gonna
week
have
or
to
two.
come back.
So I hope to see you guys again. Great debut. Thank you guys so much for watching. After this commercial, though, Boxing Fight of the Year. Stay tuned. We'll recap it.
never got me anything for my birthday.
I don't even know what that is. I thought birthdays were every 100 years like the Kids' Choice Awards.
What?
Finally, he's here, man. He's always late.
Who?
Marcus?
You good?
I'd give them one of these, and one of these.
Behind every on-screen moment is a whole team of engineers and technologists.
And you can be a part of such a team through SMPTE at UCF. You'll join a team of students just like you who are ready to innovate the future of TV and film.
With SMPTE at UCF, you'll be able to connect with local industry pros, learn about new technology in the industry, as well as get backstage experience that really matters. Join SMPTE for a backstage pass to all of this.
We meet every last Monday of the month for our general body meetings. There we discuss how new technology is being used to create new media, and we get to highlight local professionals and their specialties.
On top of that, we have some site visits planned, so tune into our social media to be notified of when those will happen.
So if you're ready to pull back the curtain and find out what really happens behind the scenes, join SMPTE at UCF.
And welcome back. Joining me to my left this time is Austin Lamanna, becoming a Hitting the Field regular. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Always happy to be on the show.
Of course. And then to my right, making his on-air debut, my assistant producer for Hitting the Field, Jared Taggs. How are you doing, Jared?
I feel great. You know, a little nervous, but I'm happy to be on here, honestly.
Absolutely nothing to be nervous about because you're in good company.
Oh, yeah.
We are recapping the boxing fight of the year, Canelo versus Crawford. Now, this fight was held at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. 70,000 people in attendance. This place was packed. It was so lively.
They only have it for 65,000 normally for the NFL. So they maximum, I think it's 72,000 they can hold it.
Yeah.
So they opened up another 5,000 seats for this event.
It's insane.
And usually that doesn't, with fights, the magnitude of this fight, that never usually happens.
Right.
And people have been waiting and waiting for these kind of fights. So you can thank Uncle Bobby Dana for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I know that you were waiting for this fight because Crawford, he called out Canelo. He wanted this fight. And tell me about what happened leading up to that fight.
You know, going up to the fight, the whole thing with Crawford was, has this guy ever fought anybody good? You know, he hasn't fought anybody outside of the top 25, and he finally got his chance, and he dominated. That's plain and simple.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And the big storyline, it's very sad, but it's so impressive. What happened with him is he was shot, and then he drove himself to the emergency room, and then he is still fighting now. And spoiler alert, he won this fight. Round 4 was really when Crawford came alive.
Oh, yeah.
This round belonged to him. Austin,
Absolutely.
any thoughts on the beginning of the fight?
Honestly, from the get-go, Crawford was just going. You know, Canelo, we were talking about this earlier. Canelo, he liked to stay right in the center of the ring the entire time, and he just never really, he would do two good jabs, but Crawford, he was going, 90 miles an hour, 4 or 5 shots every single time, and Crawford was just truly doing wonderful. In round 5, about a minute and a half left in the round, Canelo could have cornered Crawford, but he didn't. He went right back into the center, and Crawford was able to keep going. And honestly, I feel like Canelo should have just cornered him a little more, but because Crawford, he used that to his advantage. He was going the entire time.
Yeah,
it was truly amazing to watch.
add on to the round 5, I had an active bet on Canelo because I'm a big fan of Canelo, and with him being bigger, I actually cashed out of my bet and put money on Crawford. So after round 5, they put a shot of Canelo, and he looked like he saw a ghost. And I immediately cashed out, and I'm like, money on Crawford.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And speaking of Crawford, he's older.
Yeah.
And he's playing up fighting up in 2 weight classes. So he was at a disadvantage heading into this fight. And then let's talk about round 9. Okay, I thought round 9 really brought the energy in this fight, but it also brought an accidental headbutt by Canelo. Kind of threw Crawford off a little bit. Obviously not too much because Crawford ended up pulling out the victory. Crawford's right eye was, a little bit impaired for the rest of the fight. But I think, it was an accident. We saw Canelo go over and apologize. Do we think this really had much of an effect on the rest of the fight.
You know, usually it does, but it just seemed like Crawford didn't care. You know, as soon as that cut happened, he just looked at the corner and he was just like, man, I can't believe this could be a way that I could lose this fight. Because, you know, with damage, if you see a cut or an active cut, okay, maybe this guy may have gotten damaged more, which leads to more losses.
Yeah, and then round 11, we saw Canelo visibly annoyed at himself because, I assume frustrated because he knew that unless he got a knockout, he was losing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, because Crawford was dominating this fight, and then he ended up pulling out the win.
Yeah.
I wish we could show you guys highlights of this fight. We can't because it is copyright, but it was very entertaining. Any thoughts on the ending of this fight, Austin?
I mean, Crawford was definitely slowing down, in round 11 and 12 a little bit, but, he still kept that power on throughout the entire game, kept the power on, and even with that little cut to the eye, I mean, he's impaired and he was still going, in round 9, he was still going, round 10, and then round 11, round 12, a little slower, but he still had the power, And, and in round 12, you can even see it with the last 5 seconds of it. Canelo, he was just done. And the second they blew it, rang the bell, he was like, okay, I'm done.
And so Crawford officially dethroned Canelo and earned the undisputed and Ring Magazine super middleweight undisputed champion is Terrence Crawford, now 42-0. Any final thoughts before we throw it back to commercial? But I know this was such an exciting fight.
I'm a huge fan of Crawford now. I had no idea that this is what he is capable of just because of the whole thing. He hasn't fought anybody that good, but a lot of respect for him.
Absolutely. And I look forward to the next fight, but that is going to do it for this segment. Thank you guys very much for coming on. I know it was super quick, but after this, we will be talking about NFL, so don't go anywhere.
Yes, sir.
Hi, sorry to interrupt your show, but I want to give you a little rundown of everything we do here at the Hitting the Field Network. My name's Nick Cohen, and I'm the host of Hitting the Field, our flagship show heading into season 21. Live streaming every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, we talk about anything and everything sports. Tuesdays, we have season 3 of Girls Got Game. Hosts Katie Sue Christensen and Mia Flores discuss all the biggest topics in women's sports. On Wednesdays, make sure to tune into season 7 of The Combine, hosted once again by Ty Patton. This podcast dives deep into every detail about the NFL season. Next on Thursdays, we live stream season 11 of HTF Bets, brought to you by Andrew Gregg, Diego Ortiz, and Ben Huber. Any sports betting questions? I'll let the pros answer those on Thursday. Then TGIF, because we have new episodes of season 9 of Nighttime, hosted again by Matthew Bracker and Kathleen Moore. Nighttime keeps you up to date on all UCF and collegiate sports. And ultimately, Edgar Rodriguez and Patrick De Leon are back for season 2 of HTFC. Soccer is a year-round sport, so make sure not to miss HTFC. Lastly, end your week on Sundays with our vlog squad, asking the hard-hitting questions and letting you behind the scenes of our studio days. Make sure to follow us on our social medias like Instagram and TikTok to stay updated on all HTFN news. Remember to subscribe to the Hitting the Field Network on YouTube, leave a like and comment, and with that, I think we're ready for your next segment. I've been Nick Cohen, and enjoy the rest of your show. And welcome back. Joining me to my left is Augie Aronson, another Hitting the Field regular. How was your weekend, Augie?
Hectic, but the Steelers loss really put a damper on my weekend.
Yeah, very fair. And then joining me to my right, making his Hitting the Field debut, not on air, shout out bets from last week, is Jaden Hermit. How are you doing, Jaden?
I'm good, glad to be here, glad to make my debut, ready to get into these stock up, stock downs.
Absolutely. So we're just going to rock right with it. Terry McLaurin, I don't know what's going on so far. His season has not been off to a great start by any means. I have him in fantasy in 2 leagues. Jaden Daniels, I almost want to say somewhat of a sophomore slump, but I don't know about that because he's still putting up numbers in fantasy. But Terry McLaurin is not. He has not been good so far. So I have Terry McLaurin as a stock down. We're going to be doing all of our stock downs first. Do we agree with Terry McLaurin stock down?
100%. It looks like he's lost a step out there, under 50 yards in both of his games. And fun fact, today's actually his birthday.
Oh,
if you
now
know
I feel terrible. But
yeah, it's a little low talking crap about the guy on his birthday.
Well,
but
I didn't know that.
I'm not going to help it anymore, though. I got something to say about Terry.
Sure.
Pull a little bit. I don't know if you guys remember this name. Pull a little bit of Albert Hainsworth, if you guys remember.
Okay.
Back in the day, Redskins got his money, disappeared. Pretty much kind of feeling like the same thing with Terry right now.
There was drama. He requested a trade, and then he didn't get traded because he got his extension, and now he has only 75 yards on the season through 2 games, 7 catches. Absolutely disappointing. Every fantasy owner. Happy birthday, though. We are going to move on to our next one. Steelers defense, Augie.
Oh, boy.
I know. I'll give you some time. You got this.
We paid everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're at, though. TJ Watt, you haven't got a sack yet. You're pressuring the quarterback. Sure. You're doing your thing a little bit, but like we have 3 sacks as a defense. Our defense is the 3rd most expensive defense in the league. We're ranked 29th. So we're the 3rd most expensive, but we're the 3rd worst?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. That makes logical sense. We allowed 400 yards to the Jets.
And 32 points.
Yeah. To Justin Fields, we allowed 400 yards. The same guy who, in the 4th quarter, had 3 completions for like 27 yards at some point during the game in the 4th quarter. The Jets put up 400 yards. It's ridiculous. But we're a 26th ranked passing defense, 28th ranked rushing defense. We spent all this money. We spent a 1st round pick on a D lineman. He's been hurt. He hasn't been there. Cam Hayward, you got to figure something out up the middle, man. Kenneth Walker ran for 100 yards on us yesterday. Kenneth Walker's an okay running back, but Kenneth Walker should not be running for 100 yards on us. We've allowed the tied for the most touchdowns. Look, and yes, I know we gave up 34 points to the 37 points, I think it was. I think it was 34 to the Seahawks.
32 to the Jets, 31 to the Seahawks.
Okay, 31. Now, one of them was a blunder by Caleb Johnson. I mean, that wasn't on defense. That was him just not recovering the fumble. So it was really only 24
Caleb Johnson,
points.
1 yard yesterday?
Oh, my God. That's another story. But, look, Jalen Ramsey's played pretty well. That's about it, though, on the Pittsburgh Steelers defense as of right now.
I don't think there's much debate, but you agree
I 100% agree. And with the names that they have on paper, in theory, they should be good. You have Jalen Ramsey, TJ Watt, Patrick Queen, Cameron Hayward. The
list can keep on going.
30,
it's insane.
30 points allowed in both games, over 30 points allowed in both games, over the last 2 weeks. They got to get it together.
It's not pretty, man. It's not pretty.
No, I'm sorry, but I'm in a similar boat. So, but we don't need to.
I think you're in a little bit
Dolphins.
worse boat than I am.
Definitely worse. My boat is sunk. We're gonna move on though. Jaden, you can keep on going. Cam Ward, you're selling stock in Cam Ward.
Oh my goodness! It's not even his fault, Nick.
Right.
Is what the crazy thing is. You know, when you talking about Cam Ward coming out of Miami, he was great, and you see this a lot where you have these star quarterbacks in college and they go to these horrible situations. They suffer because of it. You know, Cam Ward, he's a great player, but his team around him sucks, if I'm being quite frank. You know, he doesn't have an offensive line. He's always under pressure, and he doesn't have any tangible, consistent weapons to work with. So I hope they can get together, but right now it's a stock down.
That's very fair. I mean, granted, he is the #1 pick from the past draft, but he does only have 287 passing yards through 2 games and only 1 touchdown. So I see your frustration. I'm sure Titans fans are in the same boat. A
lot of drops.
I was just going to say, Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley, where did your hands go?
Yeah. Like, is he CD from week 1? Is he Quentin Johnson from last year, the last 2 years?
2 years of Quentin Johnson,
right.
yeah.
I don't know, because he's getting these targets, and I have him in fantasy in like 2 leagues again.
He's by flex in both leagues. He's selling.
Exactly. And the only reason I'm still keeping him is because the targets are there. But, like, if he's not catching them, it's not doing much good. So it doesn't make any sense.
Also, same with Brian Thomas.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
What is going on
I really
there?
don't. Travis Hunter's not taking the targets. So
he had 12 targets, but he had 4 catches.
Well, he is taking. Yeah, I don't know. But
that's another issue.
Here's where the segment takes a turn for the good, because here are players or teams, whatever, that we are putting our stock into. So I'm going to talk about the New Orleans Saints. Now, with a little asterisk, okay? The Saints are not a good football team. Still, I 100% understand that. However, they are not as bad as we all thought they would be, in my opinion at least. They've lost both of these first 2 games. They are 0-2, but stock up is still there because they've lost by 1 score in each game. And we thought they would be losing by 30+. Personally, Spencer Rattler looks pretty darn good.
Yeah, he looked pretty solid.
Chris Olave might, with a grain of salt, might be back. Rashid Shaheed, Juwan Johnson, and Alvin Kamara. That's it's not a great supporting cast, but they're making the most out of it, in my humble opinion. So I'm not saying stock up, they're going to go win the next 15 games. I am saying they don't look as bad as we thought, because we all thought they'd be the #1 pick in the draft in April, and they still might. But at least if they keep these games to one score, I think
they
it's
don't look
fair.
too bad right now.
Exactly. I appreciate that.
Definitely better than what people mock them as.
Exactly.
It's definitely
that's
something
all
if they
I mean.
were a stock, they're still not going up that much, but they're starting to increase. Starting looking to buy now. That way you can sell in a couple weeks when they actually win a couple games.
Yeah, very true. And really, not even quickly, because this deserves to be talked about, but speaking of rough starts, Daniel Jones in New York, one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, definitely.
Well, except for that one season.
Yeah. But now he goes to Indiana, and no one is happier than Diego Ortiz, because the Colts are 2-0, beat the Broncos yesterday, barely, but they still beat them, and the Broncos are a great team. I'm sorry, Matthew. Augie, talk about Daniel Jones and his success.
Yeah, Danny Dimes, I don't know what it's been recently with quarterbacks that have terrible first stretches as a part of career. Like, I'm going to say Baker Mayfield here. Baker wasn't that bad in Cleveland, but Baker's part of it. Sam Darnold, a couple other quarterbacks too. Like, I don't know what's going on with these places that they go originally, where it's just dumpster fires, and they go to a team that's not even that great, but like they have competent coaching, and they become the next up and coming. Like Danny Dimes might get some money and get paid, and Anthony Richardson, you're going to take a hike out of Indy, but like he's second in passing.
Which is insane.
For Danny Dimes.
No
Danny
interceptions.
Dimes is second in passing.
Almost 600 passing yards over the last two games.
He's got more rushing touchdowns, too, than he has passing
I was
touchdowns.
gonna say,
This
he's
Colts
still a dual
offense
threat.
looks incredible right now. What?
Yeah.
He's completing 71% of his passes, which is 5% more of a higher percentage than his best season. So right now, it's week 2. It's early. I know. Right now, Danny Dimes is looking pretty elite.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
No, very fair. We're going to have to rapid fire through some of these next picks, but Jaden, Green Bay Packers, you have stock up, and I feel like it's not going to take much explanation, but go ahead and explain.
Of course not. So when you talk about, one of the more all-around teams in the NFL, the Green Bay Packers have to come up, Jordan Love on offensive side of the ball. Josh Jacobs, who's still the bell cow running back that he is. And on defense, Xavier McKinney. And, of course, the offseason acquisition, Micah Parsons, who's taken their defense from just good, great, to elite. So that's why I have them stock up.
Tucker Kraft has had a great start to the season, too. He's my fantasy tight end with Tyler Warren. He's had a great start to the season. He's got 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and we're not talking about the Lions today, but Lions lost to the Packers week 1 and then put up 52 points on the Bears yesterday. I don't think I think we slightly overreacted after week 1. I think the Packers are just that good. So I agree with that pick. I'm going to rapid fire through my next pick. Stock up in Rome Odunze, but Rome Odunze specifically fantasy PPR. He is killing it in fantasy thus far. He has many, many catches and a lot of yards and touchdowns. Rome Odunze in fantasy is him this season, in my opinion.
Great week 1.
Yeah.
Making that second-year leap for sure.
Exactly. But we're going to move on to the next one now. Told you, we have to rapid fire. Our next one, your final one, is Michael Penix to Kyle Pitts, their connection this season. I thought this one was slightly confusing.
Yeah, this one isn't a crazy stock up for me. This is like a sneaky under the radar one for me.
Okay.
Michael Penix. I think he's an upgrade over Kirk Cousins. He's more accurate. The ball is out quicker. He's more mobile. And I think he likes Kyle Pitts more. Like, he's at least targeting him more than Kirk Cousins was. He had 8 targets in week 1, 5 in week 2. Those 8 targets would have been his second most all last season. They haven't had for Pitts really chunk plays on the field yet, but I think the targets are coming his way, and he's just going to slowly creep up, and he's not going to have the Kyle Pitts season that everybody wants and expects him to have, but I think it's going to be better than what we've seen the last 3 years out of him.
Yeah, I completely agree. And then our final stock up of the whole show is Travis Etienne.
Yeah,
Talk about that, Jaden.
Travis Etienne, 2 back-to-back games, 2 back-to-back spectacular games, he had a down year last season, but that's okay. It looks like he's back into form. As of today, he has 214 rushing yards, only second to Josh Jacobs. So has to be stock up for Travis Etienne.
And that's only on 30 carries, giving you an average per carry of 7.1 yards per carry, which is insane. They drafted Bashal Tutin, who people thought might overtake it. People thought this might be a running back by committee with Tank Bigsby, who they traded away. So obviously that's not the case now. Impressive season thus far from Travis Etienne. I hope it continues for him.
Such a terrible season last year.
Exactly. Yeah, to say the absolute least. But that is going to do it for the show. Thank you to all of our new guests today. Thank you to all of our returning guests. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope to see you guys next week for episode 4, and have a great rest of your day.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max.